everybody.
Hello.
Checking in for our fourth diary. We've been so much slacker on this than we intended on doing, so every one of them is long. We apologise in advance. How you doing?
I'm so tired.
So very tired.
So very tired.
We'll get to why at the end. So, last time we checked in, we were in San Francisco.
It feels like so long ago.
I know, it's just ridiculous. Feels like a different world. So from there we had our second day at San Francisco, which was awesome. We went to Relic Vintage.
Yeah.
I've got my notes over here today. Usually I have them sitting below the thing, but we'll just sit them here, shall we? Relic Vintage. Do you want to talk about that?
I got the recommendation from the lady that did my hair for the wedding, and it was just as cool as she suggested it would be. Pretty much walked in there and kind of started looking at stuff, and the guy that worked there was like, I'm just going to pull some looks for you. He called them looks. So I walked into the fitting room with probably about 15 different dresses to try on. And
I think I was there for about 10 minutes before I was like, well, yeah. I'm out.
She saw the pile and she was like, yeah, I'm going to come back later.
So I left you there.
Yeah, so I pretty much got like dressed up like a little doll for probably, I don't know, an hour or something. And I ended up buying 2 dresses and a necklace.
They're expensive.
I should get them for show and tell, but I'll save it for photos or something.
So for another show and tell?
You'll see it another time. They're in a suitcase.
While you were doing your little show there, I wandered around the streets, having a look. It was kind of like Brunswick Street, but more like Brunswick Street on steroids.
Brunswick Street wishes it was this street.
It really does. So that was really cool. Lots of weird shit around. There was a kid robot shop, which I really dug. It's like those little vinyl figures, and you just don't see that hardly anywhere, so that was really cool. After there, we decided that we were going to go to the Conservatory of Flowers, which is something you came up with. We were a bit iffy. We were like, should we just head off? And we're like, nah, let's go do it. And that was amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad we stopped there. It was this really epic, like, beautiful white, like from the outside, white looking conservatory thing that had like 4 or 5 different wings in it that had sort of like different types of climate and different plants and stuff.
It was funny, when we first went in there, the skies were all blue and it was a really clear day, and by the time we left, the fog of San Francisco had just like set in. It was like pea soup.
Yeah. What? Pea soup? What's that?
It's thick fog.
Okay. Yeah, like we got really lucky the day we went and looked at the bridge because there was no fog at all, and everyone's always talking about how it's hard to sometimes get good photos of the bridge, and I was like, it was fine. And then when we walked out of this conservatory place, fog everywhere. You could feel it in the air. It was like really, really fine mist, like almost like a really light rain. It was really strange but cool.
Yeah. So that was awesome. We spent a lot of time there and it was really well worth it. And I think, I can't remember how much it was, like $8 or something each to get in. And it was worth every penny. So if you're ever in San Fran, go to it. It was really, really worthwhile. After there, we got in the car and we drove to Yosemite.
Yep.
Which was, how many hours do you reckon we were in the car for?
It was a lot.
5, 6? It was 6.
I think it was 6 hours.
It was 6 hours. We had to come back almost all the way back to LA before I took an upturn and went to Yosemite, so that was a long drive. And yeah, that was really cool. We stayed at this little place called White Chief Inn or something like that.
Just wasn't going to mention that part.
It was the name of the street. I imagine that I don't know what came first. But it was funny. It was run by this little lady who was really cool. She was real, like...
Her customer service was amazing.
It was on point.
But, yeah, she was a character. She was definitely a character.
She was all over it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really cool. We stayed there. It was, like, just basic. It wasn't very much going on. But it was kind of in the forest, the start of the forest. It wasn't quite at the line of the national park, but it was definitely in that area. So we stayed there in the evening, and then we headed to Yosemite for the next day. We did a couple of treks the first day. The first one was the Lower Yosemite Falls.
We saw squirrels.
We saw so many squirrels.
It was great.
And deer.
Yep.
We saw more deer, which is really cool. The squirrels are everywhere. We were trying to be like, what do they like at home? They're kind of like rabbits, but you don't see rabbits nearly as much.
They're sort of like
possums?
Yeah, but
Daytime
but
possum?
out a lot more, and they're kind of not they're not very scared of you. Like, they are a little bit, but they're still around, and yeah, they're just the cutest thing ever.
They're still too flighty to touch.
Yeah.
Same as the barley ones.
Joe definitely can't touch any
I
squirrels.
can't touch them. I don't even get close. I haven't even been trying this time, to be honest. And we went to Mirror Lake, the Mirror Lake Trek as well, which...
The name is a lie. It
Yeah.
was just a big old sand bowl.
It's a sand lake.
Apparently, after winter finishes and like all the snow melts or whatever, it becomes a bit more of a river kind of thing, but apparently the lake hasn't been there for hundreds of years or something. But
Being that it's getting into fall, we're kind of heading there in the driest time of the year too.
yeah, it's a little bit drier.
Yeah. But it was really cool. It was really awesome to see. So that was it. We didn't do much else that day. We just came back. That sort of took up the entire day for us.
Although we did achieve something very important. We posted home my lightsaber that I built at Disneyland.
They had a post office in the park. It's so random, but it was really handy.
Because we're coming up to having to catch our first interstate flight here in a couple of days, and I've been stressing about what we're going to do with this bloody lightsaber because it's too long to fit in the luggage. So we were like stressing about finding a post office, and of all places in the middle of this bloody national park there just happens to be one, and so we shoved it in a box, posted it home. So whoever is sitting next to me at the moment, I don't know if there's been desk shuffles now, but you might get a box that looks suspiciously like a lightsaber. It's a lightsaber.
Don't try playing with it.
No.
The hilt's been taken off. It's literally just the light part. We've got the hilt bit still in our luggage, so it could fit in the box.
Yep.
When we had our second day at Yosemite.
Yep.
The second day we went to Mariposa Grove, which is the redwood forest. That was again another one where like, can we be bothered?
You were like, can we be bothered?
Can we be
I was
bothered?
like, let's go to Mariposa Grove before we drive for 6 hours.
Yeah. So we did, and we were very thankful that we did.
Yeah.
It was really cool. We had to catch a shuttle bus.
Which, as soon as I realised that you couldn't drive all the way up there, I shat my pants. It was like, bus is probably one of my least favourite modes of transport, just after boats. I could list my most to least favourite transportation for you, but I won't right now.
But let's say it starts with boats and then goes on to buses.
Yeah.
But that was okay. It wasn't too bad.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Redwood walk was amazing. They were just humongous. The ones that we have back home in Victoria.
Warrandyte? Sorry, not Warrandyte.
No, the ones at
The other W.
Warburton. And also down at the Otways. These ones would have been like easily 5 or 6 times as big. Like, the trunks were just humongous, and they like had some of them that had like a tunnel that had gone directly through the trunk, and the tree was somehow still living, and you could walk right through it, and yeah, it was just so cool.
Again, more squirrels. They actually had different squirrels at this one.
Much different
they were
squirrels.
small.
I got two of them playing, and they did a really cute little squeak. So I'm not sure if you want to maybe like get that video
I
from
will
off
attempt
you
to get that
for
video off
the
me
end.
when I edit this.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. If you listen to it, wait for the squeals because it's bloody hilarious. Afterwards, spent a couple of hours roaming around there. We got in the car and drove to Death Valley.
Aptly named.
Aptly named. Why is it named Death Valley?
There's just nothing there. Like, there's nothing alive there. Like, there might have been some little crickets or something, but there is nothing alive there. Like, no grass, no trees, no shrubbery. It's just dead. Everything's dead. And it's just barren, but cool.
But still cool. We stayed at this little place, which was like the only place as far as the eye could see. Like it was just, like it was ridiculous. They could charge whatever they like because it was just in the middle of nowhere. The people who worked there was super nice. You had to check in at the gas station.
Gas station. What a Yankee.
The station next door. But they were super nice, and they had a restaurant on site, and the food there was actually really good. I had my first American pizza, which I've been like even about.
She's been living off chicken tenders every day.
We spoke about this last video.
Well, it's still been happening.
It continued on
every day.
But pizza this time.
Yeah.
And it was really, really good. Having said that, the accommodation was shite.
Harsh, but not wrong.
But fair.
We walked in, and it just like, I'm pretty sure.
We went and bought bug spray.
Yeah. Like, and we looked at the shower and we were like,
it was clean, but it was also kind of rusty.
Yeah, I think the whole vibe that they were going for was rustic, but I think it probably would have been better to sleep in the car.
That's not true. We could stretch out in the bed. So that was
true.
alright.
That's true.
But that was a saving grace, really.
Yeah.
Didn't have a TV or anything.
Yeah, it was most definitely haunted.
Took us ages to figure out that the fan and the light will work separately.
Yeah.
Possibly haunted. But that was an experience, and they had breakfast there in the morning. Breakfast was pretty good.
Yep.
So that was okay. And then so there we explored Death Valley. First we went to the sand dunes. Went running amok there. We didn't really know they were there.
No,
pretty much everything.
Past them and,
I think there was one thing that you knew of in Death Valley. The rest of it we just kind of stumbled across.
No, I didn't even know there was anything in Death Valley. I just was like, let's go there because it's called Death Valley.
Sounds good. What did we say? It's the
hottest, driest, and lowest point in America.
Which is funny. We'd gone from the day before being up like 7,000 feet for the park there to going down to below sea level.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the sand dunes were really cool. We had a lot of fun playing around in the sand there. And then we went a bit further and we came across a salt lake. There's actually quite large expanses of salt lakes, but we went on that. We decided to walk across this mass area of rocks to get to it.
Yeah, it was real crunchy once we got onto the salt. It felt like you were walking on like a thin crust of ice or something.
It was funny though, because when we got out there, it was actually water out there and it was kind of damp. So it was almost like walking on mud in some parts, but salt.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. And it was like, I don't know, 30 something degrees probably out there, and it looked like snow, but it wasn't. So it was really bizarre.
It was really weird. And then we went to, this is a place I thought you had in your mind, the Zabriskie Point.
No,
just stumbled across that too, didn't we?
I knew there'd just be cool stuff there. Just had a feeling.
And we got out of the car there and went up to this lookout area. And then we went beyond the lookout and played on the rocks a little bit.
There was other people doing it first, so it's okay.
There was a path, so we took that as like mission.
It was definitely a well-worn path, so it was pretty much like, please walk out here.
After we got out there, lots of other people were getting out there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then after we played around there for a while, we drove on to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas is a weird place, and we were meant to stay there 2 nights, and we decided to check out after the first night.
There was we were staying in the Golden Nugget Hotel, which there's like a casino as well, so that there's people just playing everywhere and noises and whatnot, which is fine. When we got up to our room, we looked down and I'm like, what's this going on outside? And there was a Pride event going down there, which we're super keen for because we love Pride events. However, there was like DJs and they started their music a couple of hours later, I reckon.
It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't, like super late in the night or anything. It was going from 5 o'clock.
And the noise vibrated through our apartment. The whole thing pretty much shook.
You can't explain how much this bass was like rattling your soul and your teeth. Like when we were trying to sleep, it just was like your whole skeleton was vibrating.
I got on the
oh.
event page and it was like it just goes until 1 o'clock and then it'll start at midday the next day. And we were like, okay, maybe we can try changing rooms, but the line for check-ins and stuff was super long, so we were like, we'll go get some dinner and stuff, and hopefully things will be better. And we came back to our room and it was just...
It was worse, if anything. It only got louder the more the night went on. And then to add insult to injury, it started up again for like sound checks or something at 8 a.m. the next morning. And
sound checks were just as loud as the rest of it. It was screwed.
Yeah, so it might have been like, there might have been a respite of maybe about 7 hours or something, but
we went down.
It was going to go all day as well and into the next night. So we were just like,
we tried to like go down and be like, is there any chance we can go to a different room or pay to upgrade to go to a room that's further away? And they were just like, no, everything's booked out and everything's noisy.
When we first checked into the room, like got into the room, on the bedside table there was a little sign next to some earplugs saying like, oh, the fun never stops at Vegas, here's some complimentary earplugs. We should have known.
And like, you do it. Like, you expect noise, it's Vegas, like, it's a party town and that sort of thing, but I didn't expect the whole apartment to be rattling the whole night.
No. And it was a nice place. Like, it was not a dingy, shitty motel. It was like a 4-star hotel or something like that. And all the resort area was amazing. There was this pool that had like a bloody aquarium thing.
They had a slide that went through the aquarium. There was like sharks and everything.
Yeah.
We made sure we had to swim before we left today because we were like, screw it, we're paying for it, we might as well.
But also I was looking at the aquarium and thinking like it just was kind of asking for trouble. Like, it's one of those things that in a movie...
It's because she's in the water and you're looking at sharks on the other side of this glass.
It just feels like you're just like giving the finger to like, I don't know, the universe being like, come
It was
at me,
actually
bro.
really cool, but you were terrified because you are who you are as a person. You worry about things. But it did seem a little bit like the start to a horror movie.
Yes. I am a warrior, not a warrior. Wait, no. I worry about things.
So yes, we attempted to sort it out with the hotel to get a better option, but it just they were just like, they were nice but not helpful at all.
They're just like, it's going to be loud everywhere, soz. So we checked out of there this morning and decided to move on to a bit more nice naturey things again. So we've
jumped in the car and we drove to Zion National Park where we're staying tonight. To get here, we started in Nevada, we go through Arizona and then we end up in Utah. So it was kind of funny to jump 3 states in a couple of hours time.
Yeah, in 24 hours we've been in 4 different states.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of ground. And it's desert out here is like Roadrunner.
Yeah, you expect there to be like the coyote like trying to push a rock off the edge of one of the little like flat mountainy things. It's really cool. And I don't know if you can hear the like white kind of noise in the background, but that's our beautiful creek that's just outside our balcony.
We're on our balcony right now.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit nicer than in a room for a change.
It's really freaking nice out here, and it is absolute chalk and cheese to being in Vegas. So,
yeah, we got here and we were like, yeah, we're definitely country people.
Which, yeah, a little bit disappointing because I was super excited for Vegas, but
we've still got another day the other side of this little jaunt in Vegas. We're going to stay the night there before we catch our flight to Seattle, so we'll see what we can find. It shouldn't be during the week then, so it might be a bit better.
It will be during the week,
not the
weekend.
It won't be on the weekend, it'll be during the week.
We're very tired.
We're so tired. Yeah, that's about it.
That's pretty much it. We're just probably going to go for a swim and a sleep now.
Yes, naps are good. Alright, bye everybody.
Bye.
What fun food are we trying today, Miki?
Today on Miki Tries Weird American Snacks, it's this.
Butterfinger.
it says crispity? That's not a word. Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery.
How can you do it?
Here we go. Oh, it's all crushed. It's been in my bag for a little while, I'm not gonna lie.
Crushed and melted?
No, it's not melted, it's just a bit crushed.
Like your dreams.
Oh, it looks like violet crumble on the inside a little bit, but like more brown, like more like dark golden brown. Smells very peanutty. Here I go. Ooh, ooh, I like this.
What does it taste like?
Kind of like a crunchy Reese's cup.
Reese's
Crunchy.
Pieces?
Reese's,
Buttercup?
yeah, it tastes kind of like Reese's Pieces or Reese's peanut butter cups, but crunchy.
Rate out of 10?
As far as snacks go, 8.5 out of 10.
In the first and maybe last episode of Joey Tries Foods, tonight for dinner I had a bison.
A whole one?
A whole bison. No, I had a bison steak, and it tasted very much like kangaroo. Well, the texture was like when you have kangaroo, because you have to undercook it a little bit because it gets real tough. But it tasted a lot like beef, so that was really good. That was a win. And with dinner, I also had the prickly pear lemonade that they gave us an extra one because they thought that Megan hadn't got her first one. So I got a spare. And it was also delicious.